us pray. Almighty God, we bow down before Thee in humble obedience and dependence. We pray Thee, grant us the grace to respect each other this day in all our consultations, that our deliberations today shall take place in the spirit of mutual trust, so that we as leaders shall lead our country on the path of peace and shall find solutions for issues and problems facing us. Grant us the mercy, O Lord, that we shall today also honor Thy name in all we think, do, and say. Almighty God, we pray Thee, bless our land and all its people. This all we pray in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Affirmation. I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of Namibia and its people, and I solemnly promise to uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. Honorable members, by way of announcement, I would like to indicate to the Honorable House that on Wednesday, the 17th of September, 2025, the Committee on Standing Rules and Orders and Internal Arrangements held a meeting and ratified members to represent the National Assembly at the Pan-African Parliament for the term 2025 to 2030. The members are Honorable Philippus Katamelo, Honorable Wahekwa Herunga, and Honorable Rodney Klute. The honorable members are congratulated in this role. I thank you. Any messages from the head of state? Any petitions? Reports of standing or select committees? Other reports and papers? Notices of questions? Notices of motions? Questions? Okay. Honorable Klute?
Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 2nd October 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Minister of International Relations and Trade the following question. On the 8 o'clock news broadcast last night, Her Excellency the President reaffirmed her pledge to deliver 500,000 jobs within the next 5 years. In this regard, I ask, what specific number of jobs is the Ministry of International Relations and Trade mandated to deliver toward the President's pledge of 500,000 jobs in 5 years, and within what time frame? Second, of this number, how many jobs are projected to be generated respectively through trade arrangements, export promotion, and foreign direct investment attraction? Third, will the Ministry commit to publishing quarterly reports demonstrating progress against export, investment, and job creation targets linked to the 500,000 jobs pledge? Fourth and lastly, what accountability mechanisms will apply to senior officials and heads of mission who fail to deliver on their assigned job creation targets? Honorable Speaker, I ask this on behalf of every Namibian who measures leaders by what they deliver, not by what they declare. I so submit.
The honorable member may table the questions, please. Honorable Mbula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, good afternoon. I hereby give notice that on the 25th of September, I shall ask the Minister of Environment and Tourism, Honorable Indileni Daniel, the following. The National Policy on Tourism and Wildlife Concessions on State Land of 2007 acknowledges the significant role that conservancies, or concessions rather, in Namibia play in the empowerment of the previously disadvantaged in provision of benefit opportunities to local communities living near or within such protected areas. After the closing of the bidding process on January 27, 2023, that attracted 18 bidders. The Ministry of Environment and Tourism awarded a bid for management of the Dune 7 in the Namib Desert on the 23rd of June 2023. To Sandwich Dune Tours and Safaris Tour Operator emerged as the successful bidder. Known as an iconic landmark due to its 383-meter height and remarkable view, the site offers, the Dune 7 offers remarkable and memorable destination, or as a memorable destination, for both local and international adventure seekers. According to the 25-year concession managed, or to manage Dune 7, 45 workers would be employed, and the site would be developed into a world-class recreational facility with a restaurant and other amenities by the concessionaire, or concessionaire. 2 years since the award, the only addition to these existing and dilapidated ablution facilities is the entrance gate, where residents and visitors alike are charged a fee to access the once glorious place of escape, relaxation, and adventure from the daily challenges. It is at the same time alleged that small and medium-sized local operators find the concessionaire uncooperative regarding any means of opportunity that can emanate from this arrangement, as per the policy. Now, the letter gave, or this has given birth to a terrible outcry from the general community and equally the small size, medium-sized operators. Now, I ask the Minister the following question. Is the Minister prepared to share the public, or with the public, the type of concession awarded to Dune 7 concessionaire? Secondly, the granting of concessions in Namibia by the Ministry of Tourism to previously advantaged Namibians dates back several decades. So can the minister please tell this August House how many concessions exist and how many of them expired by the end of the last financial year, 2024-2025? What economic opportunities had Dune 7 concession created to the communities of Walfish Bay within that last financial year? And lastly, can the Honourable Minister make the contractual agreement between the Minister and the concessionaire public? Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Member, please table the questions. I recognize Honorable Ricardo Roderick.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I ask for guidance. I have two questions to the same minister.
Yes. Honorable Member, it's that rule that is formulated, that the way it's formulated, it says that a question once. And what I can do is, let's agree to do that in 3 minutes. You know, summarize your question, get to the point, and then with the flexibility of the chair,
3 minutes
you get to ask the second question.
Okay, more flexibility. Okay.
Yes, just proceed, please.
My minutes are already gone. Can the timer start?
Yeah, the timer starts, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the floor given. I hereby give notice that on 25th of September 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism the following questions. Honorable Minister, it is a matter of public concern that while the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform provides danger allowance to its inspectors and observers working under hazardous conditions, game rangers and game guards of the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism face equally perilous circumstances daily, ranging from armed confrontations with poachers to attacks by dangerous wildlife. Yet it remains to be seen whether they are afforded similar compensation. I therefore ask the Honourable Minister the following questions. Will the Honourable Minister confirm whether game rangers and game guards employed by the Ministry receive a danger allowance similar to the allowance granted by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform? If so, will the Minister indicate the exact percentage of basic salary that constitutes the allowance for each category of rangers? the date on which the current rate was approved and last revised. If no such allowances exist, will the Honourable Minister explain why MEFT rangers are not afforded the same recognitions as fisheries inspectors and observers despite facing comparable or greater occupational risks? What category of MEFT staff currently qualify or would qualify for such an allowance? Beyond allowances, does the ministry provide additional protection for rangers such as medical evaluation, assistance, adequate protective equipment, and specialized training? If the ministry cannot provide this allowance, what alternative measures will immediately be put in place to protect the rangers in the line of duty? I therefore urge the Honourable Minister to place on record the executive policy position of the ministry, the budget provisions, and whether a harmonized danger allowance scheme will be introduced without further delay. I so submit, Honourable Speaker.
Very good.
My second question, though, my time is gone.
Quickly, please.
All right, I give notice to the Minister of MEFT. Namibia is home to a unique and globally prized treasure, our endemic lithops species, commonly known as living stones. These remarkable plants are found in the Namib Desert, around the Ludaritz and Aus, in the coastal areas near Oranjemont. Now, internationally, lithops are highly valued in horticulture markets, yet under the current legal framework, including Schedule 9 of the Nature Conservation Ordinance in 1975, the economic benefits of lithops are largely captured by elites and commercial collectors, meanwhile, the rural communities who live side by side with these plants remain excluded from their natural wealth.
Imagine.
Honourable Minister, are there plans to amend the ordinance to allow local communities to legally cultivate, propagate, and benefit economically from these lithops? And what specific legislation or regulatory changes are required to establish a community-based management scheme for lithop species? How does the ministry coordinate with customs, police, and international authorities to curb the illegal lithops trade? What recent statistics are available on the illegal collection, sale, and exports of lithops, plants, and seeds? Considering the high international value of these plants, does the minister consider current enforcement adequate? Can the ministry commit to collaboration with research institutions, botanical gardens, NGOs to support sustainable community programs? Honourable Speaker, I so submit.
Yes. Honourable members, please try to summarize your questions so that you can ask as many as possible. The introductions are too long. Yeah. Yes. I recognize Honourable Mulunga.
Honourable Speaker, I have an urgent oral question.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Give us a moment. Honourable Daniel. Oh, no, it's ministerial statement. Maybe the minister. I see your mic is red.
Oh, mine? Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. Honourable Manoben Rube. Oral question.
Motion.
Motion. Okay. Honourable Mbuti.
Thank you so very much, Honourable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 25 September 2025, I will ask the Honourable Minister of Gender, Equality and Child Welfare, Honourable Emma Kantema, the following questions. Honourable Speaker, honourable members, I rise to ask the Honourable Minister of Gender, Equality and Child Welfare the following questions, as I said earlier. Two toddlers were killed by their father in the north, despite the attempt by the same men to strangle their mother. Namibia's constitution under Article 15 guarantees that every child protection from neglect and abuse. This strategy raises against questions about protections and child protection services. I therefore ask the Honourable Minister the following questions. Were the children not placed under protective custody after the father's violent behavior? This is the first question. The second one, what protocols exist for child protection officers and social workers, domestic violence cases? Were these followed in this case? How many child protection officers are currently deployed nationwide? And does the ministry have a capacity to respond effectively in high-risk cases? How many child deaths linked to domestic violence have been recorded in the last 5 years? And what lessons or reforms have been applied? I so submit.
I recognize Honorable Lucato.
Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, leaders of all political parties, good day. I give notice that on 2nd October 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform, Honorable Inge Zamwani, the following. Honorable Speaker, I rise to express concern about the status of the $1 billion project announced for borehole drilling in various regions of Namibia, despite the promise of this initiative to improve access to water, particularly in rural areas. It appears that nothing has materialized so far. This project was launched by the former Minister of Agriculture, Fishery, Water and Land Reform. That was 2023. Number one, I could please provide an update on what transpired with the project. Number two, additionally, what accountability measures are in place to ensure that the intended benefits reach the communities who still face significant challenge in access water, with some having to travel as far as 4 kilometers to collect water. Honorable Speaker, I so submit.
Member may please table the question.
Thank you.
Yes, I recognize Honorable Mulunga. Yours is an oral question, you said,
Yeah,
eh?
yes.
Okay, let's find out whether Honorable Mutons, it's a motion. Okay, so then we will hear Honorable Mulunga's question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'd like to pose an urgent oral question to the Minister of Education, Honorable Steenkamp. Honorable Minister, we have it on good authority that the National Youth Council of Namibia does not have a substantive executive chairperson in place, nor a board. This then leaves the institution in a governance vacuum. I'd therefore like to ask the Honorable Minister if she can confirm or deny these allegations. And if indeed it's true, what measures is the minister going to put in place to ensure that the institution has a governance structure in place as soon as possible? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Minister of Education.
We don't have a council as yet, and all efforts are in place. We've consulted widely to get nominations, and efforts are in place to have it done by end of next week. of which you will also be fully informed. Thank you very much. That's on the National Council, National Youth Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honourable Member.
Thank you. Is that clear?
Yes,
Very good. Thank you. Now we proceed to Honorable Manobe Ube with a notice of a motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I give notice that on Wednesday, 24 September 2025, I shall move that this Assembly discuss and adopt the proposal of establishment of a Parliamentary Standing Committee on Disability or integration of disability issues into an existing committee to ensure prominence and addressing of disability issues in parliamentary processes. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Can the Secretariat assist the Honorable Member to have the notice tabled? I recognize Honorable Mouton.
I hereby move without notice that today's sitting be extended beyond the regular time of sitting until we conclude the order of the day. I so move.
Say that again, Honorable Member.
I hereby move without notice that today's sitting be extended beyond the regular time of sitting until we conclude the order of the day. I so move.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Member. Now,
Second.
no, Honorable Member, did you table a motion on that same issue? No, before you table, yeah, I am informed by the front desk that you tabled a motion on the same issue yesterday. You gave a notice. It was a different, okay. So if it was a different motion, then I will have to ask for secondment. Any secondment? Okay. Any objection? No, before you table, Honorable Member, any objection? Yes, Honorable, there is an objection. So if there is an objection, then we have to divide the House. Yeah? So the Secretariat should trigger the process, please. Okay, can Honorable...
other colleagues.
Huh? Yes, please.
I don't know what, yeah. Honorable Speaker, yesterday, Honorable Maton tabled a motion. No, yesterday. He wanted us to sit on Fridays as well. That was administrative. With this motion, is every day told what the procedures are. Why is he not just listening at that? Honorable Chief Whips meet and talk to each other. This is not for us. Don't involve us in your stories. Honorable Speaker, I'm objecting.
Okay, so that's why, Honorable Cooper, I asked that where there is an objection and the secondment for an objection, we have to divide the House. Because there is no other way if there is no consensus, unless if they, yeah. Please, there should be no debate unless if it's a point of privilege explaining something. Yeah, for point of privilege, you can raise it. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Honorable Speaker.
Okay, it's fine.
Honorable Speaker, why are you allowed?
She had an opportunity.
Okay, Honorable Cooper.
Can I just take point
Yes,
of privilege?
yes, please, point of privilege.
During the appropriation debate, the same procedure was followed, and we are here to work, so we really want us to extend the session. So I did nothing different. That was done
okay,
during
Honorable, you are now out of order, Honorable
you.
Member. Yeah, Honorable Member. Yeah, what is being said here is this. It is allowed to move a motion without notice, provided there is no objection. And the reason why usually there is no objection is because there is prior consultation. If the Honorable Member wants to move a motion without a notice, you need to consult others. If you don't, you run a risk that they object. And this is what is happening. So next time, if you want to move a motion without an objection, you must consult the others. But now with what has happened, I have no other option than to divide the House because there is an objection. Okay, so next time we do the consultation. Now, Secretariat, kickstart the process, please. Ring the bell, have the doors closed, and we vote. No. Honorable members, order. Ring the bell, Secretariat, ring the bell. We are proceeding. Ring the bell, Secretariat. Yeah, they are ringing the bell. So the bell has to be rung, and then we allow those who may be in the surrounding area to come. Of the motion. Is the quorum confirmed? Can you announce the number? Yes. May you please take your seat? Yes. How many Secretariat? Yeah, after. Okay, Honorable Nashinge, please take your seat. Yes. Honorable members, those that are against the motion, can you please rise? May you please take your seats? The honorable members may please take their seats. Please take your seats. Honorable members, when we are voting, there will be silence in the House. When we are voting, honorable members, when we are voting, there will be silence in the House. So the honorable members who are abstaining, can they please rise? Yeah. Did you? The motion, abstaining 3. So the motion is dismissed. Yeah. Yes, please. Point of privilege. Honorable members, yes. Honorable member, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the floor granted. Yesterday I read Rule 72, Sub-Rule 1 and 2. So we all want to work. And I mentioned that we all, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, my time. We all want to work. We are elected for the purpose. The members on the other side must stop asking questions in the motion so that we can address the order of the day and finish the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now recognize Honorable Samupwa.
The mic is here. Speaker, there's a mic open here. Because I pressed.
The mic is with you.
Yeah, I was actually to raise on a point of privilege.
Oh, okay. Honorable Samupwa, can you take a seat for a while? Point of privilege.
Honorable Speaker, one keeps on hearing this thing of, especially from Honorable Steenkamp, that we want to work, and Honorable James, and the question, and then the opposition is asking too many questions. Which, excuse me? All right, so it's like we are actually, it's assumed that we are delaying progress in the House. All right, no, it's not factual. Now, Honorable Speaker, I should actually, you know, I should actually register my dismay to hear something like that, because if you look at what the country is facing, socially and economically, it is justifiable for the public to actually know and understand why. So the trust that they have vested in us to do so is what we are exercising in this August House. So it's either we agree to work together on clarifying these issues, or we keep on asking those questions, because the public wants to know. Thank you.
You may now take your seat. Honorable member, the point that is being raised is this, and I thought we agreed that what we need to do is to agree on how we utilize the time that is available to us according to the rule that we have set that designates the sitting days and the sitting hours. And then we agree on how much time we should use for which item on the routine order of the day. And then if we agree that we need to make special arrangements to meet outside of those times, then we have to consult, as is practice, so that we don't have this. This is all that we are saying. And I think we have agreed that the chiefs are going to meet and they will come with a solution in that regard. But as we go through the routine agenda, we should be mindful of the fact that we have many competing priorities and we need to make sure that we balance them. That's all. Okay, now Honorable Samupwa.
Speaker, okay. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, given the high failure rate of our children in the exit grade of our secondary school system, namely grade 11, which renders them ineligible for admission to either vocational training or university studies, I rise to give notice that on Wednesday, 9 October 2025, I shall move that this August House deliberates and adopts concrete measures aimed at addressing the urgent challenge of unemployment among unskilled youth in Namibia. I so submit.
Thank you. Honorable, may table the motion, please. I recognize Honorable Lucato.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament. I just want clarity, appeal for the clarity from the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm just rising here maybe to clarity because this is a motion which I tabled last week. Then I discovered that because of sensitivity of the motion, then I have identified a relevant ministry or institution to submit it instead of to debate it here, Honorable Speaker. So I wanted to withdraw it officially.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So, so you have you would like to move that the notice that you have submitted be withdrawn?
Yes, Honorable
Okay. Is
Speaker.
that what you are doing with that, the form that you have now?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Please just read that.
Okay, thank you so much. And then I withdraw from the this Parliament, yes, so that it will be, yes.
Yes, thank you. Now we need to know, you need to say, I would like to move that the notice of motion so be withdrawn, and then table that.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, Members of Parliament, thank you so much for the platform. This motion is regarding members of Parliament's pension fund after retirement. So this motion, I withdraw it officially, and it will be submitted to the relevant office.
Thank you. The Honorable may now table that notice.
Thank you, sir.
Withdraw. Thank you, Honorable Member. I now recognize Honorable Nekongo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to give notice that on Tuesday, the 7th of October 2025, I'll table a motion addressing a trade and market access restrictions affecting the livestock farmers from the northern, or that is well known as the other side of the red line. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, I move that this House discuss and consider the factors limiting livestock trade and meat product from the north of the red line and expose concrete steps to improve access to market and lift unfair restrictions. I further move that this motion be referred to the relevant committee for thorough consideration and report back to this House.
Thank you. Honorable Member, may please table the motion. I recognize Honorable Balotti.
Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of privilege, and I wanted to inform Honorable Mvula and especially the general public that are listening that they are, wait. Yeah, it's fine. So we have, it's my point of privilege, am I protected?
No, wait, I have to hear what he has to get a gist.
Thank you. I want it to be made very clear.
These emotions? Who told you their emotions? Who told you their emotions? That corner there.
Yes, unfortunately, that is a point of privilege, and I need to hear the gist of what he's saying.
Leader of official opposition behave like one.
Okay, proceed, please.
Now, it was mentioned that the questions, for the general public to understand that there are 162 questions today, but it's not factual. The average questions is 6 per one question, and that gives us 972 questions to respond to. Now, the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Arts, Culture have 16 questions, with an average of 5 questions per each of the 16. And I want us to understand that it is not realistic to answer 972 questions when the opposition is saying that we do not have the best interest of the country at heart. I so submit.
Thank you. Okay, honorable members, let's exhaust that point. We have dealt with it, please. So now we proceed ministerial statements. Honorable Minister of Education. Thank you. Let's leave that point, honorable members. Let's move ahead. Honorable Minister, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I rise today to address this August House on a matter of profound importance on the future of our nation, which is the draft Teaching Professional Bill and its regulations. This legislative initiative, which our ministry has diligently prepared, indeed presents a pivotal step towards enhancing the quality and the standing of education in Namibia, and also by extension, the unemployment and the prosperity of our youth and the strength of our society. The purpose and the intent of this bill, in its fundamental purpose and intent of this professional bill, indeed is to formally professionalize the teaching profession in Namibia, with its primary objective to enhance but also to restore the status and image of the teaching profession. And we do this by ensuring that those entrusted with shaping the minds of our future generations are indeed held to the highest standards of excellence and integrity. This will be achieved through the establishment of the Teaching Profession Council of Namibia as its dedicated regulatory body. The council is established as a juristic person, independent and subject only to the Namibian Constitution and law, and must act impartially without fear, favor, or prejudice. The bill and the regulation seeks to achieve several critical objectives: universal registration and practice standards, which mandates the registration of all educators and the issuance of certificates of practice, ensuring that no individual engages in any form of teaching in Namibia without being duly recognized with the council and holding a certificate of practice. This measure is designed to guarantee that only qualified and competent individuals teach in our public and private educational institutions. Equally, the bill and regulations also seek to develop and uphold professional standards, as a core function of the council will also be to develop a comprehensive code of professional standards and ethics, and to develop, maintain, and protect, as well as enforce international comparable teaching profession practice and standards. This code will guide the conduct of all registered persons, promoting high-quality education, training and learning, and fostering an environment of professional excellence. In terms of accountability and professionalism, this legislation aims to instill and ensure that this is enhanced among educators by promoting ethical conduct and establishing robust disciplinary measures. This will safeguard the interest of learners, students, and trainees, protecting them against poor quality education and exploitation. In terms of quality assurance in the training programs, the bill will ensure that courses and training programs offered by educational institutions are indeed aligned and streamlined. And this alignment will equally, we hope, promote uniformity and quality across all levels of basic and tertiary education, with the council having the powers to approve but also to review teaching training curricula and programs before the accreditation by the National Council for Higher Education. In terms of continuous professional development and career growth, to sustain excellence, this bill provides for continuing professional development and training for registered persons. It will also facilitate a well-defined and elaborate career path with options for educators, ensuring seamless and coordinated professional development and sustaining excellence in the teaching professions. In essence, honorable members, This bill is about elevating the teaching profession to its rightful place as a highly respected, accountable, and professionally excellent career choice, crucial for Namibia's development. This bill is in alignment with the Ministry's strategic plan, with a strategic theme of excellence in teaching and learning, and also the strategic objective unequivocally stating strengthening the teaching profession to enhance teaching and learning. Equally, this bill is in full alignment with the SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan, which identifies quality education and training as one of its 7 top key priorities. The Teaching Professional Bill, by establishing rigorous professional standards, ensuring continuous professional development, as I mentioned, and promoting accountability, would provide the foundational strength for delivering such quality across all levels of education. Honourable Speaker, honourable members, the introduction of this bill is a vital beginning, and it seeks, the Ministry is committed to an inclusive and consultative approach. And in this spirit, I'm pleased to announce that we are currently undertaking extensive regional consultations on the draft teaching professional bill and its regulations in all 14 regions across our country. We've started off already on the 15th of September in Karas region. And these consultations, as you will agree with me, they are a crucial part of our democratic process, and that will provide us with invaluable opportunity to all our stakeholders and role players, our educators, our parents, our learners, community leaders, traditional leaders, and members of the public to provide their input and contribute to the finalization of a bill that will truly reflect our national aspirations for education. This consultation will end on the 17th of October in Khomas region. It is therefore my urge to call upon all honourable members and the public to engage constructively with this draft bill, because I am confident with everyone in our ministry that together we can build a teaching profession that is indeed truly fit for purpose, delivering high quality education, but also inspiring a new generation of Namibians to achieve their full potential. I so submit. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
That's a very topical issue, and I'm only a little concerned that because of the nature of the subject, which is very topical and very interesting, it can provoke a lot of questions that will be preemptive of the tabling of the bill. So I would like to maybe just advise that in a situation like what we had, which is very good for you to alert us of the fact that the bill is ready and you are going around with consultations and we can participate, to not go into too much details, because people would want to raise questions. Yeah, and today being Thursday really, and everybody wanting the government to account through these questions, we want to leave as much time as possible for the questions. So can we agree to just heed the advice of the minister, participate in the consultations, and request the ministry to make sure, yeah, and then we deal with the bill when it comes. Yeah, very good, thank you. I don't see any further request of the floor. So today being Thursday, we proceed to questions that have been notified. The first question is one by Honorable Venani, asked to the Minister of Works and Transport. Has anyone been delegated by Honorable Venani to put the question? Oh, the Minister is also not here. Okay, the next question is by Honorable Venani to the same Minister. They are both not here. The next one is by Honorable Binge Sheundo, asked to the Minister of Works, who is also not here. The next one is by Honorable Motu to the Minister of Home Affairs. They are both not here. The other next one is by Honorable Venani to the DPM. They are both not here. The next one, which is question number 23, is by Honorable Venani to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. They are both not here. The next one is by Honorable Thomas to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Does Honorable Thomas put the question?
Yes.
Question 24.
Yes.
Thank you. Does Honorable Sankwasa wish to take the floor and respond to the question number 24? Can somebody put the mic of Honorable Sankwasa on? Question 24 by Honorable Thomas. So Honorable Sankwasa doesn't have prepared answers. I can assume that so that we proceed to the next question while he is looking for his answer. I don't know. Yeah, so we proceed to question number 28, and it's by Honorable Motu to the Minister of Works and Transport. They are both not here. Yeah, the next one, question number 29, is by Honorable Ipumbu to the Honorable Minister of Justice and Labor Relations. Honorable Ipumbu, has he delegated someone? Okay, no one is delegated. The next question is question number 30 by Honorable Venani to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. They are both not here. Yeah, but the Honorable Ipumbu is not here to put the question. Yeah, so Honorable question number 31 is by Honorable Kumbwa to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Question number 31. Which one is the minister answering? 31. Okay. Does the Honorable Kumbwa put the question? Okay. Honorable Minister, you may please respond.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this august House, I rise to respond to the question that have been asked by Honorable Ambrosius Kumbwa in order that I'm going to read and present it. What specific criteria are used to determine the allocation of capital budget of regional councils and local authorities? Our response is that the criteria used to allocate funds under the capital budget is not based on a formula currently, which is still being determined, but on the following order of priorities. First is ongoing projects that span over a period of 2 or more financial years. If the particular project has not reached its completion, it becomes a priority. Critical life-threatening unforeseen emergency projects, and then preventive measures related projects, which are repairs and maintenance of bulk infrastructure, pumps, particularly in local authorities, sewer treatment plants, water treatment plants, oxidation ponds, etc. This is due to the fact that the funds available during the financial year are merely sufficient to cover the required cash flow for a project to provide basic services in every town in Namibia. Question 2, how does the ministry ensure that the allocation formula promotes equitable distribution of funds? I stated earlier, there is no currently determined formula which is used for subsidies. Hence, there is a need that a formula must be crafted. Question 3, can the ministers provide a detailed explanation of the allocation formula? I said there is no formula at the moment. So that question falls off. How often is the allocation formula reviewed and adjusted? It cannot be reviewed if it has not been determined. You only review what has been determined and approved. As per the question, we do not use a formula as stated. But B, delay of funds. What are the main reasons for the delay in transferring funds to local authorities? The first delay of transferring funds is this very parliament. That's the first culprit in delaying the budget, this parliament. What time do we have to debate the budget? What time does this August House approve the budget? Then it goes to the National Council, and from the National Council, it must be approved as an appropriation bill. By the time we approve the budget, it's already 2 months lost in the financial year. So the first delay is this parliament. We need to come up with a proper timetable as to when to approve the budget. So what strategies are being implemented to mitigate delays? The strategy is that the budget must be approved on time. Because the regional council local authority must ensure that they submit the invoices with all the supporting mandatory documents as listed in the standard checklists. But this is done only after Parliament or this House have passed the appropriation bill to offset the requirement of the only 1/3 of the budget, previously financial budget. How have delays in fund transfer affected the implementation to funds of local authorities? Yes. The second reason we have when it comes to local authorities is that the financial year of the local authorities does not coincide with the financial year of the ministry. Because the ministry's financial year starts from 1st April to the end of March, but those of local authorities starts 1st July to the end of June. So hence there is a need to amend the Local Authority Act to coincide and be at par with that of the ministry. What accountability mechanisms are in place to ensure timely transfer of funds? Yes, first the budget is allocated, and then there is monthly meetings being held by the ED of the ministry together with the COs of both regional and local authorities. And all outstanding invoices have to be submitted on time, and all the outstanding ones have to be catered for if they come from the previous financial year. How does the ministry communicate with local authority regarding delays and expected timelines for fund transfer? If there are outstanding mandatory documents not submitted within the claim, the ministry requests such information in writing, and depending on the prompt response from a regional council local authority, the ministry then processes the fund transfer. What plans does the ministry have to improve the efficiency of funds transferred to local authorities in the future? Yes, we now require monthly reports of the commitments and the actual expenditure of every regional council and every local authority. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Remember a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for detailed response, but I have two things here that I need to get clarity. This question was asked during the time of April. It seems now it is 4 months ago since the question was asked. Now, to my understanding, as the Honorable Minister mentioned that one recommendation for the local authority to be amended, I think it's also very important if the Minister have the plan for which that time there were no formula. Now, during this 4 months, what have you make sure that is on your table to look into a formula, because this formula will determine whether the poor local authorities funded accordingly or not. Now, at this moment, without a formula, I can say there is bias of funding to local authorities.
Honorable Member, pose the second question. You said you have two. You said you have two. You have made the first question. You have posed the first one. The next one?
Does the Minister have plan on the formula in his office?
Okay, thank you.
That is my question. Thank you very much.
Honorable Sampasa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I welcome the question. And I want to agree with the Honorable Member that, yes, I'm in the office for the last 3 months since April. The Ministry of Regional and Urban, previously called Regional and Local Authority Ministry, has been in existence for 35 years now, without that formula. And with all due respect to the member, he does not expect me that in 3 months I must be able to produce a formula that has not been produced for 35 years.
Okay.
So, number two, since we discovered that the formula does not exist, yes, plans are there to benchmark with other countries that are in existence. We don't have to reinvent a wheel. This formula will be determined by the next budget. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now it's break time, and I propose that the House rises for 15 minutes. Okay, we come back at 16 hours. No, 16 hours. let's take our seats. Okay, when we went on the break, we had just concluded the answering of the question number 31. I don't know whether Honorable Sampasa has now found the answer to question number 24. Question 24. It was by Honorable Thomas, who is not here, unfortunately. Was he here? Have you found the answer? Oh, okay. So then we just proceed. We were at 31. Now we proceed with the next question, which is 45, by Honorable Fries to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Does Honorable Fries put the question? Yes. Honorable Sampasa? Is question 45.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this august House, I rise to respond to the questions that were raised by Honorable Dedrick Fries in the order that I will present the answers to. Question 1 was, can the Ministry provide evidence-based justification for the City of Windhoek's proposed 3% residential electricity tariff increase, particularly considering the city's claim that it already offers the lowest tariff in the country? Our response is that the proposed 4% average electricity tariff adjustment by the City of Windhoek aligns with NamPower's approved 3.8% average tariff increase, because the price or the increase in the price of a municipality is always influenced by NamPower's approved tariff increase. This revision is necessary to ensure that cost recovery in accordance with guidelines set by the Electricity Control Board and to maintain the financial sustainability of the city's electricity services. The 4% domestic tariff application is primarily driven by a combination of the following factors. 1, NamPower bulk tariff increase, the non-cost reflective nature of current city tariffs, the increased maintenance costs, chronic staff shortages amid the city's ongoing growth and expansion. Despite these pressures, the city remains committed to keeping electricity prices affordable while continuing to invest in reliable service delivery. This commitment is reflected in Windhoek's current tariff levels, which remain amongst lowest in Namibia. Prepaid tariff comparison is at 1. City of Windhoek, energy is 2.4, Erongo Red is 2.7, Sona Red 2.5, OPE 2.6. So Windhoek remains the lowest at 2.4. City of Cape Town is 3, eThekwini is 3, Ekurhuleni is 3.6. So Windhoek still, therefore, comparatively remains the lowest. Question 2, given the city's assertion that increased costs are driven by 67% population growth and maintenance demands, what long-term infrastructure investment plans are in place to sustainably manage this pressure without recurring hikes? The city is actively working to diversify its energy sources by incorporating more affordable alternatives such as solar, photovoltaic, plants and rooftop PVC system. However, these sources alone are insufficient, significantly reduce the overall cost of electricity. As the country's primary electricity producer, only NamPower has the capacity to meaningfully reduce generation costs. The City of Windhoek merely acts as a distributor, purchasing electricity from NamPower and selling it to customers. If the city were to sell electricity below the cost at which it purchases, it would be unable to meet its financial obligation to NamPower. This in turn could compromise NamPower's ability to pay its regional suppliers, destabilizing the entire electricity sector and potentially leading to load shedding, which Namibia is not currently experiencing. Therefore, maintaining cost-reflective tariffs is crucial. The ECB scientific and regulatory framework ensures that electricity pricing remains fair and transparent. Any deviation from this framework, honorable members, risks undermining the integrity of one of Africa's most stable electricity sectors, which is in Namibia. Question 3, has the ministry independently proposed tariff increases proportionate and not being used to cover inefficiencies within the city's electricity supply operation? The response is that the proposed increases are not intended to cover inefficiencies. The City of Windhoek's electricity department is currently severely understaffed, with only about 60% of its approved positions filled. As a result, the available personnel are highly stretched and operating under considerable work pressure. According to the 2018 ECB study titled National Electricity Tariff Study for the Electricity Distribution Industry, as illustrated in Figure 13, a single staff member in the City of Windhoek's electricity department serves approximately 525 customers. This figure is significantly higher than that of most large distributors in Namibia, reflecting the department's efficiency despite limited staffing. Furthermore, the study highlights the cost incurred by the City of Windhoek in distributing electricity to end users, shows that the city's distribution costs are among the lowest in the country, which further demonstrates operational efficiency within the city's electricity function. Lastly, the City of Windhoek's total electricity losses are approximately 6%, a rate considered excellent when benchmarked against both local and international electricity distributors. It is therefore incorrect to suggest that proposed tariff increase is intended to cover inefficiencies than efficiencies. The Electricity Control Board does not permit the recovery of operational inefficiencies through tariff increases because the Electricity Control Board is in charge as a regulatory body. What specific measures will be implemented to shield vulnerable groups, including pensioners and low-income households, from the financial strain of increased electricity tariff? The response is that the city employs cross-subsidization strategy to support consumers who qualify for assistance under national policy, subject to ECB approval. Pensioners registered under the special tariff category currently pay just 1.67 kilowatts for the first 250 units per month, compared to the standard rate of 2.47 kilowatts, making basic electricity needs more affordable to these groups. To increase accessibility, the city encourages pensioners to switch from post-paid to prepaid meters so that they don't run out of units. Prepaid meters offer better cost control and transparency, particularly beneficial for low-income households. A public awareness campaign is underway to help residents make informed choices between metering systems based on their usage patterns. Question 5 of the same question 45. In light of frequent annual requests for electricity increases where 10.4% was proposed last year and 4% this year, does the city consider introducing a cap on annual tariff adjustment to help ensure affordable and sustainable electricity supply? Unfortunately, electricity tariff adjustments cannot be stopped randomly due to the fact that they are driven by underlying costs of generation, transmission, and distribution. Since non-power sources a significant portion of its electricity from ESCOM, any increase in ESCOM's prices directly affect non-power and by extension all downstream distributors, including the City of Windhoek. Introducing a cap without a compensatory government subsidy would jeopardize the financial viability of non-power, the City of Windhoek, and the broader electricity sector. Such a move would risk undermining electricity reliability and affordability in the long term.
Please?
So I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, thank you. I decided to allow the minister some extra time because he was responding. And I would like to advise maybe that the way to deal with the lengthy questions is to not repeat the question. Yeah, so you can have the question repeated in your response, but you just go to the answers so that for referencing people would know what you are responding to. Honorable Fries, do you have a follow-up question? Yeah.
I thank the Minister for the, I believe, a very, considered reply. And although it had taken for us 3 months, beyond 3 months, to hear the reply of the ministry. So I thank you very much.
Thank you. Then the next question is one by Honorable Hengari to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. The Honorable Hengari is here, neither is the Prime Minister. Now we go to question number 48 by Honorable Hengari to the Minister of Justice. Honorable Hengari is not here. Huh? Okay.
I would defer the question, Honorable.
Okay, thank
The
you.
member
The
is not
question is
present.
deferred. Yes, but the challenge is that the rules are saying if there is an agreement between the member who posed the question and the minister to whom the question is directed, the minister can even answer in advance. That could have been done, but in the absence of the member, there is no way that we can put the question to the minister if there is no one to put the question. Yeah, unless someone puts the question on behalf of the member. Yeah, but I note what the honourable member said. The next question is question 49 by Honourable Mvula to the Minister of Health and Social Services. Does Honourable Mvula put the question?
Yes, Honourable Speaker, I put the question.
Yes, Honourable Minister of Health.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members of Parliament, thank you very much for the question. To cut on time, I will not repeat the question. I believe we have it all in front of us. I will move to answer question 1 and question 2 together because they pertain to a sort of similar theme. Regarding question 1 and question 2 for the distribution plan for ambulances and the allocation criteria, allow me to start by saying the availability of running ambulances was paid much consideration to. We did consider, firstly, regions and districts without running ambulances. That was critical for us to ensure that we don't have an uneven distribution. With that said, we also had to consider the demographic terrains. As you are aware, based on the different demographic terrains, we would require different vehicles. The allocation was made by considering the appropriateness of a vehicle to operate in the specific terrains. For example, Oshinungwa Clinic in Opuwo district is about 300 kilometers away from the district hospital. But the travel will take at least 15 hours in order to reach the clinic. Therefore, these types of difficult terrains require, for example, a Land Cruiser ambulance to be able to transfer patients. It is also critical to note that another factor we took into account was the budget. The limited financial resources at that time determined the number of ambulances that could be procured at that point in time, as well as the fact that that first batch of ambulances were not donated, but they were procured by the ministry. Therefore, an ambulance such as a Land Cruiser station wagon that is fit to operate in the terrains of Tsumkwe and Gam areas was specifically allocated to the Tsumkwe and Gam areas for that particular reason. In addition, another ambulance is earmarked for allocation to serve Tsumkwe and Gam clinics in that particular regard. Honourable Speaker, honourable members, with regards to question 3, allow me to highlight that the Ministry of Health and Social Services recognizes that there is a critical need to improve the emergency response, particularly in the rural areas with limited health facilities. Our current approach to allocating ambulances and the likes has proven inefficient and unsustainable. We recognize that. And with that said, the ministry is currently transitioning to a medical care emergency response model. The purpose behind that is to establish dedicated centers in all regions staffed by emergency care practitioners. This is in order to improve the emergency response as well as the time to avoid the need for congestion centrally to respond to emergencies. Furthermore, it is critical to note in the question that was posed that reference was made to the use of community workers to assist in emergency response. With that said, upon taking office in April 2025, one of my first directives, particularly to the primary healthcare unit, was with regards to recruiting and starting the process of training 10,000 community health workers over the next 6 years. This is in order to further expand our reach and ensure that we have community members within the communities that are able to meet the demands of the community in a timely manner and not wait for emergency resources from the center. With that said, the Ministry remains committed to exploring innovative approaches to address and improve access to healthcare in these rural areas. In addition, we will continue to evaluate the potential for community-based first responder programs as part of our broader strategy, and that does include possibly increasing the scope of training for community health workers to include these particular emergency services such as BLS and others. In conclusion, as my time moves very quickly, allow me to highlight regarding question 4. During the 2022 and 2023 financial year, there were a total number of 7,314 outreach visits countrywide. The total number of planned outreach visits was 8,909. This indicates an annual outreach coverage of 82%. There are a total of 4 district hospitals, Grootfontein, Chivarongo, Kakararo, Kahanja, 2 health centers, Mangeti, Dune, and Otavi, 18 clinics, and 319 outreach points in the Otjozondjupa region. Grootfontein district alone has 54 outreach points, of which 8 are for GAM settlement. As my time goes to an end, I wish to highlight that although much has been done, we recognize that much more must be done, and we are actively working on it. I submit.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Does Honourable Mbula have a follow-up question?
Really, first of all, yes, Honourable Speaker, I would like to thank the Honourable Minister of Health for the response, pretty concise, and also for revealing what the plan is and what has been executed and what is actually to be executed. So my question is really the 10,000 healthcare, I would term them healthcare workers then, or community healthcare workers. Would they actually, would the ministry consider the supposedly 4,000 of them that have been with civil society and now would find themselves jobless because of the withdrawal of PEPFAR funding? Would they enjoy preference, or would the ministry really stick to the normal standard recruitment process that would not even consider the 10 years, 8 years experience of these cadres? So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Honourable Minister.
Speaker, thank you, Honourable Member. I take that more as it's not really a question, more of a suggestion. And I definitely do feel that, particularly with the recent sort of loss in jobs that have occurred and that are to occur, that is a very critical consideration that you've mentioned. We take it, the Honourable Member and I have had conversations of how to improve the healthcare sector. We take it under consideration, and we definitely feel that considering those that are now jobless and preferably training them as opposed to going on the market while others have lost their jobs is a fantastic consideration. I thank you.
Thank you. Then we proceed. The next notice of a question is one by Honourable Ehub to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Honourable Ehub is not here. Is there anyone delegated with the question?
Yes, I've been delegated to put the question.
Honourable Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Question 50 here.
Honourable Speaker, honourable members, I rise to respond to question 50 as posed by Honourable Everestus Karonda of Swanu. The response is that the city of Windhoek acknowledges the historical context.
Honourable Ehub of LPM.
Question 50.
That's question 50.
This is 50 I have.
Maybe it's in time.
Maybe an error, but the question
maybe
50.
you follow an outdated question paper. Maybe there was a revision done to the question paper.
Well, let me check question 50 here. No, they don't. They're not the same.
Yeah, it's
Can
not
I
the same.
can I ask for the deferment?
Okay.
Yes.
So the question is deferred. Answer. Then question number 51 is one by Honorable Fries to the Minister of ICT. Does Honorable Fries put the question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I put the question.
Yes, Honorable Minister of ICT.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to respond to questions put by Honorable Dietrich Fries of PDM. The first question is related to whether Namibia has yet enacted a comprehensive legal framework to regulate artificial intelligence. I wish to respond that, as I've indicated in a ministerial statement delivered in this August House in April 2025, Namibia is in the process of developing an Artificial Intelligence Act and process guiding principles in line with UNESCO's recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence and continental artificial intelligence strategy. However, in the meantime, there has been developments. Namibia has participated in UNESCO's AI Readiness Assessment Methodology, RAMP for short, this year, which aims to assisting countries in evaluating existing frameworks, capacities, and competencies for ethical development and use of AI. It is important to state that the Fourth Industrial Revolution Task Force, which recommended a full and comprehensive report in 2022 already, recommended the establishment of an AI institute which is driven by the National Commission on Research, Science and Technology, which resorts under the Ministry of Education. A national AI working group has been established in that regard, and progress is ongoing. The second question is with regards to whether the ministry is taking to address the legal and constitutional gaps related to algorithmic decision-making and potential violation of citizens' rights. The answer is that the ministry is working to address these particular gaps by finalizing key legislation, including the Data Protection and Cybercrime Bill. It is important to state that the Namibian Constitution reigns supreme and is respected when it comes to citizens' rights. In this instance, therefore, there is no necessarily legal gap. However, we do still need to strengthen this area with these proposed legislative frameworks. The third question speaks about liability in cases of AI systems causing harm, and the government intends to put this comprehensive framework in place to definitely address that. The following question is in respect to data protection and privacy standards. As indicated in previous questions, we are planning to put in place this comprehensive framework to ensure the ethical deployment of AI and the national AI strategy to ensure the upcoming law will align with regional and continental frameworks such as the AU Data Policy Framework. You also asked if we are working with the Office of the Ombudsman in this regard. Indeed, the ministry works with all critical stakeholders in the human rights ecosystem and remains committed to a human rights-based approach to AI governance and welcomes opportunities for collaboration to assess the impacts of AI on human rights. Not to mention that the government's stance is really that AI shouldn't be a technology that should be feared. Like any other innovation and invention or emerging technologies, it has pros and cons. However, our stance remains, just like technology, AI should be for public good. Finally, you asked what legal frameworks from other jurisdictions are we studying for consideration as models for Namibia's AI governance. Namibia is drawing on several regional and international frameworks to guide its AI governance, but I must indicate here that there are still very few guidelines and even working principles when it comes to AI because it's rapidly moving while states and governments and legislations are still catching up because of the nature of technology. So once you reach a certain point, you must still pivot and change your approach because AI technologies are constantly evolving. We see it with DeepSeek that came after ChatGPT, and now we're even talking about Grok and others. So some of the legislations we're looking at is the African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection, also known as the Malabo Convention, which Namibia has ratified. We are also looking at the SADC model laws on data protection, cybercrime, and e-commerce. We are also looking at the African Union Continental Strategy on AI, including a proposed AI Council in which Namibia is an active member of the working group to set up this AI Council on the African continent. We are also looking at the UNESCO recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence, and finally, of course, UNESCO's readiness assessment methodology principles that we have since participated in this year. That concludes my response, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Fries.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Fries, do you have any follow-up question?
I thank the Honourable Minister for the elaborate reply. I just would wish a hard copy of the reply, Honourable Speaker. Thank you.
Yes.
Just a hard copy of the reply.
A hard copy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Honourable Member, what point would you like to raise on? It's not allowed under the rules, unfortunately, Honourable Member. The rules don't allow, unfortunately.
I think it's a good contribution that she would appreciate.
No, unfortunately, there is no such flexibility. Yes, the copy would be made available. Now I understand that the Honourable Sankwasa has received the response to question number 50 by Honourable Ehu, that I think Honourable Mvula was indicated that he was delegated to put, and the Honourable Sankwasa now has the floor.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members. The question we have already before us, but the response is that the State Finance Act regulates the management of state assets, their custody, control, and accounting. The Act stipulates the powers and duties of the Treasury and the Auditor General in relation to these assets. In terms of Section 86(1) of the Local Authority Act, local authorities are mandated to keep accurate and comprehensive records of their assets. The said section of the Act requires local authorities to maintain accounting records that accurately reflect their transactions. With the migration of IPSAS, Ministry of Urban and Rural Development has provided training to local authorities, CEOs, finance managers, and accountants, with the aim to, among others, ensure that proper record and control is kept and maintained in local authority assets. Also, local authorities are encouraged to have as-built plans and records of all their infrastructure, that is water, sewer, roads, drainage, and electricity network. With the increasing risk of cyber attacks and hacking, measures will have to be put in place to ensure that all data of the local authorities is safeguarded. Number 2 question, keeping record is essential to local authorities to execute their mandate in their areas of jurisdiction. Without having information on the number of immovable properties, record of every receiving services from the local authority, effective services will not be possible. Having an asset register is a legal requirement for all local authorities. A number of local have acquired and are using GISA as a tool for asset data management. So the ministry has financially supported some local authorities to acquire financial management systems, and the training has been effective thereof. I so submit.
Yes, thank you. Since the Honourable Member is not here who put the question, then we proceed. There will be no follow-up questions. We proceed to question 52, which is one by Honourable Thomas to the Minister of Health and Social Services. Does Honourable Thomas put the question? Yes. 51 was answered already. It was answered by the Minister of ICT, yes. Now we go to 52. So the Honourable Thomas has put the question. Honourable Minister of Health, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question regarding condoms. I will answer this. I'll try and be as succinct as possible. Firstly, Honourable Speaker, condoms remain a scientifically proven, cost-effective and accessible means of preventing the spread of a wide range of sexually transmitted diseases. According to the World Health Organization, when used correctly and consistently, condoms are amongst one of the most effective methods of preventing sexually transmitted infections, including HIV and unplanned pregnancy, and the only method of contraception, mind you, that can actually do both. With that said, scientific evidence confirms that male latex condoms are up to 98% effective in preventing the sexual transmission of HIV when used consistently and correctly. The importance of condoms extends beyond fluid-based interactions, also considering STI transmission through skin-to-skin contact that you alluded to in your question. With that said, further research has shown that regular condom use reduces the risk of herpes simplex virus 2 transmission by approximately 30 to 50%, and genital warts by approximately 60 to 70%. For syphilis, condoms are particularly protective. They help reduce transmission when infections or infectious sores are located in the area that is covered by the condom. Though not perfect, this reduction in exposure is clinically and programmatically meaningful. The guidance with regards to mpox is merely to avoid sexual or close contact with individuals showing symptoms, as delays until all sores have been healed have proved to be effective. In such cases, condoms are to be used as a precautionary measure, but not as a sole measure of protection. With that said, Honourable Speaker, condoms distributed through the public health system in Namibia, including those supported by the Ministry of Health and Social Services, I wish to highlight, are tested as well as they meet the international safety standards such as WHO as well as ISO guidelines that we follow. They are subject to rigorous testing for safety, efficacy, and biocompatibility, which also includes toxicity screening that the Honourable Member alluded to. These standards ensure safety, effective, and quality-assured products, and ensuring that these products reach the public in a safe manner. Correct storage of condoms is always highlighted. Very importantly, ensuring that the storage is away from direct sunlight, heat exposure, while additionally taking into consideration expiry dates, amongst others. Notably, condoms are classified as medical devices. I wish to highlight that the Namibia Medicines Regulatory Council is in the process of developing regulations and guidance for medical devices so that we can adequately regulate those. Currently, though, ISO as well as the WHO recommended guidelines are utilized to fill this regulatory gap. With that said, suffice to say, in Namibia, STI and HIV prevention are a public health priority as part of the Ministry's comprehensive prevention modalities. All health service delivery points are equipped with staff that provide comprehensive health education, including information on condoms at both healthcare and community levels. As such, information on the proper use of condoms, their side effects, particularly with those such as latex allergies, lubricant-related irritation, and the risk of breakage or slippage during use, as well as the limitations of condom protection against certain STIs, is always conveyed to the public. In summary, Honourable Speaker, to round up on question 4 and 5, I wish to state that the Ministry of Health and Social Services places a strong emphasis on evidence-based decision-making in all aspects of health programming, including the procurement and promotion of STI and HIV prevention methods, including condoms. Before any method is adopted, the Ministry works in close collaboration with the national and international experts, including technical partners, that ensure that the latest scientific evidence is utilized. In summary, for question 5, in alignment with my earlier response to question 3, the Ministry of Health and Social Services ensures that comprehensive health education is provided at all health service delivery points and extended to the community through trained community health workers. As I said, we are now working to increase the number of those. These mechanisms are in place to protect Namibians from harmful exposure and ineffective products, thereby directly saving lives. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I submit.
Yes, thank you. Does Honourable Thomas have some follow-up questions?
Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, thank you very much, the Minister of Health. I think you have done very well in one part, but you, Honorable Minister, you answer on the part of the education, how you educate your people. But my question was, I wanted to know, how do you test these condoms when they arrived to your store? No, wait. Because these things is already sealed. How do you know that the lubrication inside, they are correct? This is what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for the question. Thank you, Honourable Member. I wish to answer this very briefly because of time. Similar to when we get antibiotics, ARVs, they're packaged when they come into the country. We don't open the box for us to make sure that they are safe. There are safety mechanisms and regulatory mechanisms to which I refer to the WHO and ISO standards. I also alluded to the fact that technical expertise come on board in order to ensure that the products that are imported meet these particular guidelines. I also made mention to the fact that the Ministry of Health and Social Services through NMRC are currently working towards developing regulatory mechanisms for medical devices, of which condoms are such. The same way that we go through the regulatory processes for medication before bringing it into the country, that is the same way we go through for medical devices. And as I've highlighted, these must meet ISO and WHO standards. We don't take every condom out of the packet and test it before we give it to patients. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. No, Honorable Member, you only have one. Okay, a copy of the answer. Yes. Please, Honorable Minister. Question number 53 is one by Honorable Kandorodu to the Minister responsible for education, and both are not in the House. Then the next question is question number 54 by Honorable Fries to the Minister responsible for agriculture. Does Honorable Fries put the question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I put the question.
Yes, Honorable Damani.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise to respond to question 54 as posed by Honorable Fries. I want to thank him for raising very pertinent issues regarding the issue of verification of the authenticity of partnerships within the fishing sector. I would like to say that first and foremost, the pivotal criteria in the comprehensive assessment for granting of fishing rights and quotas include citizenship. And within the framework of this citizenship, careful consideration is extended to individuals from marginalized communities as well as those with disabilities. And in addition to that also, we apply the criteria whether they are women, veteran, or youth. And this information is monitored on an annual basis through quota allocation and does indeed play a significant role in the robust evaluation of fishing rights to determine the eligibility for extension. And the Ministry continues to promote within the sector meaningful and accountable social responsibility. And therefore, corporate social responsibility initiatives are closely monitored through comprehensive evaluation conducted annually. And this also determines the quota allocation as well as the fishing rights renewal. And therefore, to ensure transparency and verifiable impact of these initiatives, the right holders are required to submit supporting documentation, including proof of expenditures, any photographic evidence that they may have, and then the ministry welcome also an opportunity to attend events where the social responsibility commitment that have been made part of the application are being delivered to the beneficiaries. Insofar as the question that makes whether the inclusion of marginalized communities and NGOs, whether we have binding formal equity agreements, I can respond that in terms of the procedures, according, at the moment, the ministry will take the information as submitted by the applicants, and that information will be assessed, and that information will be made part of the conditions for the grant of the quota or for the renewal of the fishing rights. Therefore, non-compliance or failure to uphold these obligations that applicants entered into freely and willingly will diminish their performance rating, and which adversely in the end will affect the applicant quota allocation and also the non-renewal of their fishing rights. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the fishing rights are conferred upon duly registered entities which are subject to the provisions of the Companies Act, and therefore as right holders are expected to uphold the principles of good governance and accountability in the conduct of their internal affairs. In accordance with the Marine Resources Act, all shareholders with fishing rights are regarded as equal beneficiaries. But we acknowledge that there is potential, and I have experienced it, that there are real serious governance issues regarding partnerships, in which cases the ministry's official will convene a meeting with the various players, will go through the issues, and where we are able to resolve, we are able to resolve, and where we are not, we refer them to pursue other routes that are available to them as shareholders. I therefore would like to underscore in conclusion that the ministry commitment to transparency, equity, and inclusive participation across all levels of the fishing sector is one of our cornerstones of the Namibianization of the fishing sector. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, thank you. Does Honorable Fries have any follow-up question? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the answers should always be availed in case members would like to have them for referencing. I understand that Honorable Balotti has been delegated to respond on behalf of the Minister of Education. That is, if the question is put, is anyone delegated by Honorable Kandrodu to put question number 53? Yes, okay. So, Honorable Somaev has put the question. Honorable Balotti, you now have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, I think to start, I wish to state that the events have since been overtaken with the time that has passed or since passed. However, to best attempt to answer the 4 questions, I shall start by saying when the Minister appoints an interim board for the National Youth Council in accordance with Section 10 of the Public Enterprise Governance Act, one of the appointed members is designated as chairperson of the interim board. It therefore follows that the person appointed as chairperson of the board or interim board is deemed to assume the role or to be the executive chairperson for the duration of the tenure of the interim board, as provided for in Section 14(1) of the National Youth Council Act of 2009. Consequently, upon Ms. Beverly Silas Karas' appointment, and I shall continue to refer to her as the chairperson of the interim board, she assumed the role of executive chairperson by operation of law. The said chairperson conditions of service as an acting executive chairperson were determined in line with the approved human resource policy of the National Youth Council, and it is also noteworthy that this appointment was approved by this Public Service Commission. To the second question, it is important to clarify that the letter received by Minister's Office on the 17th of June from certain affiliate organizations was not signed by all 53 affiliates, nor was it signed by the chairperson of the Representative Council, even though the letter requested that all correspondences be directed to the RC chairperson. Minister acknowledges receipt of the letter and the request for a meeting before the interim's board term expired on the 19th of June. Unfortunately, a meeting before that date was not practically possible. The term of the interim board was extended for a further 2 months, and Minister wishes to inform the House that a meeting chaired by the Right Honourable Prime Minister took place, which discussed this matter raised by the RC chairperson and the affiliate youth organizations. The meeting was attended by representatives of affiliate organizations, regional youth forum chairpersons, the then NYC interim board chair, as well as the NYC director. To the third question, first and foremost, Minister wishes to state that any suspension must follow an established procedure. If due process is not followed with all necessary endorsements, the action becomes invalid. In the matter of the alleged suspension, certain internal procedural requirements within the board's process were not fulfilled. Minister's office is working tirelessly to resolve this issue and to ensure that the NYC operations are not disrupted. The ministry is fully engaged with the organizational issues at NYC, and we are committed to restoring normalcy in line with the NYC Act and the Public Enterprise Governance Act, or PEGA. To the fourth and final question, we would like to inform this August House that the court case between the members of the former board of the NYC and the ministry, together with the National Youth Council, was settled out of court on the 10th of June. In terms of the settlement agreement, the ministry and the interim board will attend to all issues that give rise to the disputes, including those related to the regional and constituency youth forum leadership. In this regard, the ministry has initiated a process to review all documents in consultation with stakeholders to ensure that all matters are resolved in order to pave way for the appointment of a substantive board of the NYC. I thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, since the substantive member who put the question is not here, we proceed to the next question, and that is question 55 by Honorable Shitana to the Minister of Finance. Is anyone delegated to put the question by Honorable Shitana on his behalf? Okay, none. So we proceed to question 56 by Honorable Lizazi to the Minister of Justice. Does Honorable Lizazi, is she here? Is he here? Oh, sorry.
Is she?
So, does the Honorable Member
Honorable Speaker, when you see me, you say she.
Sorry.
Okay. I put the question.
Yes, okay. Honorable Minister of Justice.
Undermining.
This August House, I graciously welcome the leave to ventilate the question put by the Honorable Member, Milunga Elvis Lizazi, pertaining to the operation and the assistance provided by the SWAPO-led governments to the community court, as well as the officer thereof. The first question was or pertained to how we are preserving the traditional laws. It is therefore my best assumption that Honorable Lizazi's referral or reference to traditional laws is synonymous to customary laws. So this would be the premise of my answer. And I would like to affirm that on the strength of Article 66 of the Namibian Constitution, both customary and common laws that were in force on the eve of independence remain applicable to the extent that they are consistent with the constitutional order or any statutory arrangement that may be in place. It's suffice to say, though the customary laws and common laws are therefore part of the Namibian jurisprudence. Further, the ministry is undertaking strategic projects or a strategic project aiming at codifying or the codifications of customary law. Also, a consideration is being made regarding the possible amendment to Community Court Act number 10 of 2003. And once a direction has been ascertained or determined, relevant stakeholders will be consulted. With regard to what are the support that government, through the Ministry of Justice and Labor Relations, is giving to community court, I presume, although the reference was made to traditional authority, I would like to emphasize that Honorable Rizazi presented an insinuation to the effect that some community courts are operating under tree. This misdirection on the part of my honorable member qualify for a demystification, because there isn't any single court, community court in this country, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, that is operating under a tree. And I think Honorable Rizazi was recently on an outreach, and because he is part of a parliamentary committee, standing committee on constitutions and legal affairs. And in undertaking such, he had a privilege of visiting a number of community courts, and he has seen and witnessed it for himself, that an impression that he has initially created in this August House is contrary to the truth. But for what it's worth, Honorable Speaker, it's important to set the record straight that of 37 established community courts, 26 of them are housed within the traditional authority offices. An exercise that we have reached, through collaborations with the ministry responsible for local governments and housing, and 9 of them are accommodated in rented premises, and the rental for those facilities are covered by the ministry. Under the financial year 2024-2025, 7 traditional authority offices were renovated, part of their buildings that were not in use, in order to provide for the space for the operation of community court. We have planned to continue to renovate others in order to make the operations of community court much more easier and feasible. Additionally, it's important that on the 5th of September 2025, the ministry, jointly with the Office of the Prime Minister, gave vehicle to community court for ease of service processes and efficiency of court. And it's important to note that in identifying those community courts that receive the first consignment of the vehicle, the ministry looked at the court with voluminous cases, as well as with a vast of distance to be covered for the purpose of serving the summon. But also the consideration was made for those whose messengers of court possess driving licenses. And at the moment, for community courts whose driving licenses or whose community court messengers do not have driver's license, we have assisted in actually facilitating the training or driving school for them. The vehicle for the remaining community court will be budgeted for under the financial year 2026-2027. In this case, we have proactively already advanced it to the Minister of Finance for consideration, but we shall follow the formal process. The Ministry will also host 5 training workshops to strengthen the skills of justice assessors and administrators in court procedures and legal record keeping. All these are forms of support extended to community courts. The hardship with regard to community, there was a reference to that. It's important also to indicate that community court receive 15 million annually, at least up to this very hour. But this allocation has proven insufficient given the rising costs or operational costs, if you wish. Accordingly, the ministry has also submitted a request, to the Ministry of Finance during the midterm review hearing for the adjustment of the allowance of community court officials. This will be also probably take care of some other operational needs, if so granted by the Minister of Finance. The community court empower us to act and act in a manner that would ensure the institutional capacity of those courts, for they are established for a purpose. The questions with regard to the remunerations of traditional authority, it's important that as members,
please? Yes.
yes, the remunerations of traditional authority is done in terms of the Traditional Authority Act number of 2000, and that falls under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Local Governments and Housing, Urban and Rural Development, sorry. Security measures at community court, it's important to indicate that this has come to my attention, and we have since requested the Office of the Inspector General to make police officer available during the proceeding at community court, and graciously, the Inspector General has granted that permission in August. We are then expecting that during proceeding at community court, there will be police officers in attendance just to ensure safety of the community court office. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes,
that was my answer.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Does Honorable Lizazi have any follow-up question? Huh? Yes, they are very long.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for the comprehensive answer. It's only a request that the Minister withdraw calling me a liar, that there are no courts under the tree. Thank you.
I actually didn't get what the Honorable Lizazi said. So it was not a question, eh? It was a comment. Yeah, now we proceed to question 57 by Honorable Lizazi to the Minister of Justice still. Honorable Lizazi, do you put the question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Labor.
Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker. Again, I stand in accordance with Rule 132 to respond to the question put by the member. The first question.
For which line? Oh, okay.
Okay. The first question borders on the enforcement mechanism for the minimum wage order. It's important to indicate that so the minimum wage order that was implemented effective January 2025 was not actually the first one. I felt that this is the first national one. But there was a minimum wage order initially in respect of the domestic workers, as well as, sectoral collective agreements in relation to 3 industries: security, constructions, and agriculture. And ever since, there has been capacity at the ministry in terms of the enforcement of those minimum wage orders. But as it is for all human capital, I think our submission this afternoon is that there is a room for reskilling, of our current staff, and they are ongoing in-service training in order to strengthen the capacity where, say, may be found lacking. Measures in place to enforce the minimum wage order. I think the honourable member would remember that there are ongoing public awareness campaign in order to inform the public members of the existence of the minimum wage order. So the ministry has also reactivated the SMS line. So that is 66111, through which members of the public can report the non-compliance by their respective employers insofar as minimum wage implementation is concerned. The reskilling and recapacitation initiative, I think I need not to say more. The second question by the honourable member, pertain to the prosecution. It asks specifically as to when is the prosecutions going to commence of, employers that are not complying with the minimum wage order. I think, Honourable Speaker, what is important to indicate at this point in time is that we have just implemented this minimum wage for roughly about 7 months now, and we are engaging with the educations of members, and that's why ostensibly we may appear, taking a relaxed posture in dealing with the non-complying employers, but it's not lost upon us that we need to make sure that we enforce the offence as set out under Section 13 of the Labour Act with regard to the non-compliance. But we have taken an approach that the first things that we need to do is to embark upon the education before we then get to the enforcement of the penalty thereunder. But so that is eminently coming, Honourable Member. The last question, and I am really trying to be very economic with time, Honourable Speaker. So the last question had to deal with the tabling of the legislation or the amendment to the various legislation. It's important to indicate that the consultations of various pieces of legislation under the Ministry of Justice and Labour Relations, particularly those that are speaking to the restorations of industrial justice, are ones that are, or is a process that is done through the tripartite arrangement, that there are various stakeholders and there are various task force, and those task forces are hard at work in order to finalize those legislation, and as soon as they are done, we will duly give the notice here. The last question, I think, pertains to the union representing security guard in the, yes, that the union take longer to open cases at the labor commissioner. Yeah, so union take longer and the question was, what is the Honorable Minister doing with regards to this? I think I'm on record unequivocally that there is a perception being created that the minister should become a unionist. So minister is responsible for formulations of policies and promulgations of laws, of course, by bringing them before this house that would safeguard, a peaceful industrial environment. But the minister is not necessarily to go and, unionize workplaces. I think that is very important. But it's a fundamental right for people and workers specifically to become members of the union. I think as to why the unions are taking longer to file or to refer disputes to the office of the Labor Commissioner, maybe that's the engagement that we need to do outside this August House by asking those unions as to whether they still represent the interests of the workers. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very good, thank you. Any follow-up questions?
Again, say thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And I also want to thank you for the hotline that you have put across. I'll share the number with the members. Specifically, I was very specific with the security guards. When a law is enacted, immediately once it's signed, there should be an obligation from the security company owners to adhere to the law. We can't be lenient that because it was just...
Honorable member, question?
Yeah, it's a question. That is a question. He will understand it. He will understand. So a law should be implemented immediately. Why is the minister saying they are lenient because we just implemented 7 months ago? And what are these people going to be eating if they are still paid $9? As we speak, they are still paid $9. What is going to be done to these people? It's like a free ride. So something has to be done. They are still paid $9 per hour.
Thank you. That was the follow-up question, Honorable Minister. When is implementation going to take place? I think that's what he's saying.
Honorable Speaker, I think maybe it's the language, it's my choice of words and phrases. I said ostensibly. We may appear relaxed, but it's not lost upon us. Yes. So we are...
No, Honorable, when a member is answering... No, Honorable member, you cannot make a point of order. No. Yes. No, Honorable member. Honorable member, you see, may you please take your seat? I am trying to say to you, Honorable member. No, what I'm trying to say to Honorable Lizazi is, what I'm saying to Honorable Lizazi is, when you ask a question to a member, and the member is responding to your question, you cannot make a point of order to dispute or to disagree with what they are saying. Yeah, so you allow the minister to respond to the follow-up question. So, okay, so now we proceed. Yeah, okay. No, now there is another set of questions from Honorable Lizazi, still to the same Minister of Labor. Does the Honorable Lizazi put the question?
The question?
Yes, Honorable Minister of Labor.
thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, again to speak. For the opportunity to respond to the question of my revered Honorable Milunga. So these are the questions that he has put to myself on the 26th of June 2025, pertaining to or regarding the retrenchments of mine workers who are being retrenched after absorbed for employment by subcontractors to perform the same job they were doing but at a lower wage. Indeed, this is a concerning issue, and in fact, bilaterally, I will take it bilaterally with the honourable member, just in terms of the specific details, so that we can address it. But for what fits this moment, Section 34 of the Labour Act provide for dismissal arising from collective termination and redundance. It outline acceptable ground for redundance, including reorganization, transfer of businesses, and the discontinuations of reductions of business activity due to economic and technological reasons. So employers are legally allowed to do that in terms of a reorganization. But what is important is that in so doing, they must comply clearly with the process or the procedure set out under Section 34. You may all recall that with regard to the issue of smelter that I dealt with probably about a month or two ago. So what was ostensibly becoming evident is that the employer was doing a process outside Section 34, and on the basis of that, I had then to evoke Section 80 of the Labour Act, so that I refer the different or the disagreement between the employer and the workers for arbitration, and it was arbitrated, and as a result of that, so the determination was that what was taking place, labeled as a voluntary separation program, should still be subject to Section 34. So it's important that the workers that are then going through that process are educated, and it's our collective responsibility to make sure that we disseminate such information, and that is what we should convey. So the issue of the labor high, again, was highlighted as a concern or part of the question put by my revered Honorable Milunga. But what is important is to say, or what I want to underline, is that I would like to take us a trip down the memory lane about the Supreme Court judgment between Africa Personnel Services vis-à-vis the government of the Republic of Namibia regarding the prohibitions of labor hire in the country. Despite the judgment, Parliament then adopted a new provision concerning labor hire in the Labour Act of 2012, which is a substitute for Section 128 of the Labour Act, prohibiting the labor hire. That was struck down by the Supreme Court. In addition, the Labour Act 2007 provisions relevant to labor hire, some aspects of concerns were further included in the Employment Service Act number 8 of 2011. Without quoting those sections verbatim, I humbly refer the members to section 128, subsection 1, as amended, so that you know, we inform ourselves as members. So, what is important, however, is that you know, labor hire companies, they are expected, once they perform the agency services for the purpose of recruitment, it's then expected that they give over those employees, becomes then the employees of the company, and they don't continue to be employees of the labor hire. And that's the principle that is being missed by a number of employers, and we are taking actions to address it, because we have realized employers have misdirected themselves on the provisions of the law. So the last question, Honorable Speaker, I think you really need to be, I beg for your indulgence, because the questions were multiple, and I felt I should discharge my obligations as an MP or as a sectoral minister by doing justice to them. The issue pertaining to the regulations of basic conditions of employment for individuals employed by labor hire, I think I have addressed that already, and the misdirection on the part of both the workers as well as the employer is coming from. I would like to thank you, Honorable Rizazi, and you know I have an open policy. My phone is on 24/7, and I have answered your call.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Rizazi, do you have an additional question? Okay, addressed? Okay, very good. The next question is question 59 by Honorable Mbinge Sheundo to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Is anyone delegated to put the question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I have been delegated to put a question.
Okay, the question is put to Honorable Sankwasa. Question 59.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I'm put on spot. Honorable Speaker, I am responding to question 59 and equally asking for your indulgence also to do justice to these questions, because it's quite important questions that I need to clarify without repeating the questions. Question number 1. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this august House, allow me to mention that all decisions and actions affecting informal economy operators shall respect, protect, fulfill, and promote the right to human dignity of informal economy. The government fully acknowledges the vital role informal traders play in our economy, as well as the need to align municipal bylaws with constitutional rights, especially the rights to dignity and economic participation. The City of Windhoek has actively engaged with civil society organizations and informal traders associations to ensure that the revised bylaws reflect the lived realities of our people. Our goal is to establish a regulatory environment that is supportive rather than punitive, one that promotes entrepreneurship, reduces poverty, and contributes to vibrant, sustainable local economies. The government, through Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, is working closely with the Namibia Informal Sector Organization, with the technical support of Ministry of Urban and Rural Development and financial support from organizations such as Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, engage many local authorities to provide inputs into the Code of Conduct for the Namibian informal economy in 2021. which is based on 17 guiding principles. These principles, amongst others, advocates for the formulation of policies to facilitate a conducive environment for operators in the informal economy, to reduce the current tension, eliminate eviction, harassment of informal economy operators in all towns and villages throughout the country. Question number 2, Honorable Speaker, Ministry of Urban and Rural Development has not carried out many assessments in that regard. However, we are aware of this situation, and I acknowledge the challenges of informal economy activities and the need for the inclusive urban development policies. Ministry of Urban and Rural Development has been working on various initiatives that address these issues, such as promoting local economic development and ensuring access to basic services for all residents. The ministry will be looking into this issue and proposals to carry out an assessment in the subject matter, and will be contemplated upon its consultation with all relevant stakeholders involved. Question number 3. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, let me indicate that there is a national informal economy, start-up and entrepreneurial development policy in Namibia aimed to foster a supportive environment for informal businesses. This policy is under the administration of Minister of Industrialization, Mines and Energy. My colleague now, I'm speaking as a minister, it's not me saying now. My colleague, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industrialization, Mines and Energy will be in a better position to respond to this question posed. Be that as it may, let me reiterate that the City of Windhoek is currently in the process of revising its informal trading regulations. These new bylaws aim to shift the city's focus from the control-oriented stance to an enabling supportive framework. The revised regulation will create an environment in which informal traders can thrive, contribute to the local economy, and gain improved access to essential services. Council intend to have the updated regulations approved by the second quarter of 2025-2026 financial year. Question 4. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this August House, allow me to indicate that City of Windhoek Police Service is governed by the City Police Service Regulation of 2013, which address conduct, accountability, and discipline. 13, Officers are instructed to act lawfully and proportionately at all times, to resolve conflicts with informal traders through dialogue before resorting to enforcement. That must be very clear. And to direct informal traders to designated trading spaces rather than resorting to punitive action. In addition, the City of Windhoek requires its law enforcement unit to operate under of internal oversight committees and grievance procedures that allow affected traders to report misconduct or unfair treatment. They have that opportunity to do so. The City Police Professional Standards Office plays a central role in this is a long thing. Investigating and reviewing enforcement action to uphold professionalism and ensure accountability. Furthermore, the City of Windhoek has created demarcated and numbered trading areas to reduce conflict and encourage trading. When disputes arise or arises, officers must engage with the vendors committee and de-escalate tension through respectful dialogue and negotiations. At a higher level, senior oversight is also evident. For example, Right Honorable Prime Minister Eliang Kurare recently convened a joint session with the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development and City of Windhoek to address informal traders concerned about the disruption caused by urban development. This is a commitment to all development that must respect the rights and livelihood of affected communities, and that enforcement must remain fair, transparent, and considerate. Question number 5. Honorable Speaker, indeed, there are several measures that have been taken to protect the human rights of informal traders, vendors, including vulnerable groups like women and youth in the street vending sector. The City of Windhoek is reviewing its regulations and policies to ensure informal traders are integrated into urban planning processes. This includes granting them legal recognition and allocating designated, properly serviced trading spaces to support their activities. The Standing Committee on Economics and Public Administration has also called upon local authorities to provide the following for informal trade: safe and easily accessible market spaces, basic sanitation facilities, including water taps and ablution blocks, and lastly, to secure trading environments that protect vendors from harassment and ensure their safety. By implementing these measures, the city aims to safeguard the rights of informal traders, especially women and youth, and to promote an inclusive urban economy where all have the opportunity to participate. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, the local authorities should shift from a punitive to a supportive role for informal traders, recognizing their contributions to the local economy and providing assistance to formalize and grow their businesses. And this includes providing and trading spaces, facilitating access to finance, education and training, streamlining regulations and licensing, promoting formalization, ensuring fair treatment, and engaging in dialogue, integrating informal trade into urban planning, and supporting local economic development initiatives, amongst others. In reference to City of Windhoek, the city is committed to enable informal traders as the drivers of local economical growth. Our key measures include designated...
Deputy Minister, can you...
You asked the question and I am...
No, Honorable Minister, you have a time limit. I'm only allowing this because informal settlement issue is really a critical issue. But I have a limit of a maximum of 5 minutes to extend, and I spread it across the many speakers. So please, let's try to be brief. Honorable Deputy Minister.
I'm about to finish,
yeah, please.
Speaker. I'm a fast reader. Our key measures include designating, upgrading, and servicing appropriate trading spaces across the city, simplifying and decentralizing licensing and permitting processes to encourage legal compliance, providing capacity building initiatives to informal traders on hygiene, safety, and business skills, regular consultations with vendors' representatives to address their concerns and improve trading conditions. The City of Windhoek also promote the formation of market committees, allowing traders to voice their concerns and participate in local economy planning. Informal traders, for their part, are expected to comply with cities' regulations by trading in designated areas, selling approved goods, and keeping their space clean and safe. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the government remains committed in finding practical and dignified solutions.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy.
I'm concluding. I'm there. Just last sentence. honorable members, questions will be taken into account as we continue to refine our bylaws. And I so submit, I do not know. You must stop asking lengthy questions. When we respond, you are impatient.
Yes, thank you. Honorable members, it is true that the questions are lengthy. They are prefaced by lengthy introductions that consist of insinuations and all sorts of things, but also the honorable members, please, and also the subsequent questions are too many. So, but when an issue is so important like this one, because there are petitions brought to my office, there are meetings on this issue. So I don't really want to disrupt the minister when they are responding. But we should make an effort to comply with the rules, honorable members. Otherwise, if we are not going to do that, we will not be able to deal with the items of the agenda. So, you see, it's only 5 minutes to go. Now I ask, no, the question was put by Honorable Binge Sheundo, who is not here. So, no, the rules don't allow. No, the next question, Honorable Lucato. Honorable Lucato, do you put the question? Question number 60. So, no. You put the question, honorable member.
Honorable Speaker, I pose a question.
Yeah, is anyone delegated by the Prime Minister to answer? None. Okay. So now we proceed to question 61. Is by Honorable Ehub to the Minister of Defense and Veterans Affairs. Is anyone delegated by Honorable Ehub to put the question? Okay, is anyone delegated by the Minister of Defense to respond? Deputy Minister, are you?
Honorable Speaker, neurologically and physiologically, the hippocampus of the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs is sound and not wanting. Question 61 was thoroughly responded to according to our records, unless, of course, the Secretariat have to demonstrate otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you. So in that case, can I request the Minister to kindly avail a copy of the responses that we provided so that they are available to the member? Very good. Thank you. Now we have, what is the time now? We have one more question. 62, Honorable Mouton, question put to the Minister of ICT. Does Honorable Mouton put the question?
Yes, I put the question.
Okay. Minister of ICT?
We put.
Honorable Speaker, I have 3 pages of responses because the questions are 7 in total by the Honorable John Low Mouton, the Shadow Minister of ICT from IPC. And we have only about 2 minutes left until adjournment, so I wish not to rush into the responses, but rather come back on Thursday next week, so I have ample time to respond to 7 full questions that I've prepared 3 pages of responses for those questions posed by the Honorable Member.
Yes, Honorable Minister, the questions would be responded in 5 minutes. So, but we have less than 5 minutes before knock-off time. So from that point of view, I think it is agreed that the response can be deferred to next time. What I want to say, Honorable Mouton, before you come is, today we made inroads into the questions. And I believe that there were people truly who were awaiting answers to these questions. And many of them felt saved and respected because we were able to do that. Can we please try to improve on that so that on Thursday we answer the questions and we clear this? That's point number 1. Now to conclude, point of privilege, Honorable Mouton, is it?
No, I just want to thank the Minister and I defer it. Thanks.
Yes, okay, thank you. So we rise on a point of automatic adjournment. Until next week, Tuesday, usual time.